Next up is Santa Claus, one of my favorites. So here is the cutter, Susan Carberry Designs Only cutter. And what we're gonna do is start with a flesh colored fondant. So we've got, for this one, we've got flesh, black, green, and red, and then some other tools. For this one, you need some red royal icing with a tip number 3, and then white royal icing with tip number, I'm using a 6. You can use a 6, a 7, 8, anywhere along those lines. So first, take your flesh color. I use the AmeriColor Copper to get flesh color here. And just roll a little bit of this out. This is probably more than I need. But since I don't exactly know where I need the flesh, I know I need it like in this area. It's better to have just a little more than you need. So I'm just gonna take it, this is kind of the hat up here. You wanna just kind of pop it right on here and cut, okay? And then I will come back with this small cutter here. Okay, and I know the hat's gonna be here, so I don't really need that to be flesh. And then I'm not gonna come all the way out to the edges. So I'll just take a little piece like this, lift it up, a little water on the back. I'm gonna place it right here in this area. It looks like there's a little air pocket there. So I'm gonna use the small scissors and just kind of poke that and smooth that back out. Okay, there we go. All right, so the next thing we can do is we can go on to the red. So roll this on out. Okay. Make sure, you always want to kind of make sure you can slide it. If it sticks to the surface and then you go to pick it up later, then you're just going to stretch it and it's not going to be the shape that you need. So here I am going to take it and I'll cut right about here because we don't need his boots in there. Just cut like that. Okay, and then his hat comes from like down here, and it's really just going to be up, like up in this area, and it's going to really stop about here, but I like to go a little further down just in case, and then we'll go over the top with the royal icing in white. Same with this little bob here. Right now I'm just going to leave it on there. So I'll start here and I'll curve. So I'm going to go like right in the middle of this little bump that sticks out there, right about in there. Take that and I'll cut a little of that off. And then I can go ahead and kind of cut some of that bump off because I don't need that. Put a little water and place that right here over the top. Okay. And then for the bottom, I know that I'm not going to need the very ends, so I'll cut that off because those are, whoops, I just kind of messed that up. I should use the larger end of the tool here. Just cut the gloves off. So that's one, and then the other one would be about here. And then I don't want to be in this face area, so right about here where the hands are, you can just take this and just cut, and I'm just going to kind of curve it like that. And then this is the piece I'll use. Don't need this one. And I'm gonna cut right here too because I'm gonna have the boots down there. So flip it over, a little water. Okay, place it back on there. So it's good to have those arms as the guide of where that goes. Now I have a little water on my hands, so I need to wipe that off because now my hands are kind of red before I go on to smooth that out. Okay, so just kind of smooth that down, this up, pop it back in position, okay. And there we go. All right, now before that starts to dry too much, I just want to do a little bit of detail work on it. So I'm going to use my veining tool. So I've got my thin end of the veining tool because there's a thick end and thin. You want the thin end. And right over here, I'm just going to create some little creases. So I'm going to start with the end right here off the side. You want to hold it about a 45-degree angle, and you just want to kind of slide and curve as you slide. And I'm going to do a little one here, then I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to just do a little bit here, maybe one more little crease down there. Oh, that's 4. I can't have 4. Now I have to do another one. All right, where do I want it? I'll just kind of do a little one in the middle there. Okay, if you're doing that, notice I just kind of smooth it like that. Sometimes if it's dry at all, like if I wait too long, when I do that, it might cause a little creasing, and all you do is after you made it, then just go ahead and smooth that out. Now as a guide, he's gonna have his jacket on, so what I'm gonna do is just take this tool and just gonna draw a line right up the center, like so. Okay, then the next step is gonna go to the black, so we're gonna do his boots. And then I'm gonna use that piece right there. Okay, I don't need this little piece on the top. Oops. Fondant flying everywhere. Okay. And once that's on, I can go ahead with my veining tool, because those are 2 boots. So right down the center, I am just gonna draw that little line very gently, just like so. And then the belt's gonna go in this area, and it's gonna kind of curve just a little bit. So I can use this piece still. I'm sure it's big enough. Just widen it a tad bit more. And I can use the cutter still. So I'm gonna need it to be right like across this area. So I'll just take the cutter right across here, and then take this tool. I want to wipe off a little of that red so it doesn't get all over onto the black. And then I am just going to cut at a slight angle, kind of curve as you go. So start here, go down, come back up, and then make it maybe about a 1/4 of an inch wide. Go down, back up, and then place it on here, see if you like it. So I shall go ahead and press that on. And kind of make sure it goes over that edge a little bit. You don't want to see the red on the edge. Cute. So actually we could do the belt buckle first, since we have the black. For that, I'm going to use these little square plunger cutters. You can get those from PME. And I am going to roll this out. I'm going to use the largest. It's actually a set of 3, and I'm using the largest here and the smallest. So I've got the largest, and then I'll come back with the smallest and just cut out the center, and then remove that, and then you've got your belt buckle like so. And we'll paint that gold in a little while. Since it's not quite even, I'll have the thinner part either be at the top or the bottom. Like now I'm gonna have to turn this so I can see it, because I need to see where his face would be. He's gonna have his fur for his hat right about here. So let me actually do this so that you can get a visual. So this is where the fur is gonna be up here, and it's gonna come down to about there. So his face needs to be in this area here. So we can go ahead and just take the black and roll 2 balls. And when I'm a little smaller. And my second one. Yep, I think it's about the same. And then I'm gonna do the mouth. So the mouth, I'm gonna make a little bigger than it's actually gonna end up. So we're gonna cover it with his beard. So a ball, finger on half, finger on the other half, and a little in the middle so it's thicker in the center. Curve it a bit, take it over here, kind of flatten it a bit, like so. Okay, and like I said, it'll end up being smaller than that. Now I'm gonna take a tiny bit of the flesh color, a little bigger than what I did for the eyes, roll it into a ball, and then place it right above the nose. Great. Let me move this down a bit. Okay, now I can go to the green. Okay, so for the hands, I'll cut one out here and the other one on this side. And all I need is that small rounded part there. So I'm actually gonna curve it a bit. Clean up the edge, and voila! A little bit of water. And then on the other side, cut this a little bit. See how I go in and then back out? If I move that, you can probably see. Okay, and then I'm gonna use, this is the PME 3 Holly cutter, the smallest out of the set. So what I do is make sure I get a nice cut. I go like that with my thumb to make sure that it's nice and clean. Then I push down, okay, to get the impression on it, and then pop it out. And I'll just kind of leave it, maybe I'll just leave it over here on the plastic. Just for a couple minutes. You don't have to let it dry like that. I just figured I have the green out, I may as well cut it now. Save some time. All right, so I'm gonna start with the white royal icing here. So again, the tip, I'm using a 6. You can use a different size anywhere along, you know, close to that would be fine. And then I'm actually gonna turn it this way, maybe sideways so you can see. Okay, first I'll just do the little ball. So what I want to do is keep the tip slightly embedded in the icing and just kind of move it around, kind of curl it around like that. Okay. Then the next thing, I'm gonna come from here all the way across here. Remember, this whole area here is the fur they had. So I'll start here and just squeeze and go up and then come back down and then go a little higher like that. Okay, and maybe fill that in a tiny bit more, like so. And then I can bring his beard down, okay? So for the beard, it's gonna come down here around the sides and back up. So I'll just do this, come down. And come down a little bit more there. And we want to fill in this entire area just below the mouth. See, that's why you want to put that mouth on first. Okay, now what I do is I take the tip here and right under the nose I'm going to squeeze, and then I'm going to pull the icing this way a bit, and then I'm going to go back under there and squeeze, pull it up here, and then I'm going to come back and make sure that I just meet up with that just a little bit, and I'm going to make his beard just a little fluffier. A little more fluffy. And right here, make sure that you can see some of that green there from his glove. Okay, is he looking cute? He's just looking so cute. And then he's got a little bit of fur down here, like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and put on his holly. So I'll do that over here. Use the back of the paintbrush to kind of pop that in. See that? And it sticks up a little bit. Take my red royal icing, tip number 3. You just test it over here and make sure that it's coming out correctly. And I'm just gonna squeeze one little ball right in the center. Squeeze, stop squeezing, move the tip off to the side. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is take some gold highlighter dust. Okay, and then a little bit of lemon extract and make it paint. Okay, and I'll just kind of mix that. I don't need to blend all of it. So any kind of a gold luster that you want to use, make it into kind of a thick paint, and then I'm going to go over the belt buckle. So I'm just using a tiny little bit. So if too much of the black shows through, then you can just go back, make it the paint just a little thicker, and voila. Okay, so now I am going to give him a little blush because he's been out in the cold. Cheeks a little red, little rosy. So just take a little bit. This is Aurora Rose, which is a very light, like pink. And I'll put some on the paper towel first because you don't want it to be too dark. And then I'll just take some, put them a little on the nose and a little in here on the cheeks.